Shalom. This video is commentary for the Satellite Bible Atlas Map 1.8, focusing on the southern approaches to Jerusalem. In the previous video, we saw how most major routes approach Jerusalem from the north. In this video, we learn about 3 routes that approach Jerusalem from the south. On Map 1.8, note the rugged canyons, the Upper Sorek and Kesalon valleys, that flank Jerusalem's western side like deep moats. These canyons make it very difficult to approach Jerusalem directly from the west. One route comes from the Sorek Valley in the Shephelah and climbs the Rephaim Ridge, avoiding the deep canyons of the Upper Sorek. Likewise, another route from the Elah Valley in the Shephelah climbs the Husha Ridge. Both these routes intersect near Husha and Bethar. The Husha Ridge joins the Road of the Patriarchs near Bethlehem. The Husha Ridge is undoubtedly the route David traveled on when he traveled from Bethlehem to the Elah Valley, where he fought Goliath. This event is marked on Map 5.3. David brought down supplies to his brothers, who were part of the army of Israel facing off against the Philistines in the valley of Elah. Note another route that approaches Jerusalem from the southwest. The route branches off from the Husha Ridge at Bethar. The valley of Rephaim becomes a wide plain on Jerusalem's southwest side, convenient for travel.
We're standing here in the valley of Rephaim, where the Philistines attacked David twice after he became king of Israel in Jerusalem. This valley is actually the main southwestern approach to Jerusalem.
After David became king of both Judah and Israel in Jerusalem, the Philistines attacked twice via the valley of Rephaim. Following God's directions during the second Philistine attack, David got behind them and cut off their route of escape. Because of the rough terrain of the Upper Sorek, the Philistines had no choice but to flee north. David pursued them from Gibeon to Gezer. To arrive at Jerusalem directly from the south, one travels on the hill country watershed route. The route is called the Road of the Patriarchs because Abraham, Jacob, and Joseph traveled on it. The Road of the Patriarchs is the only north-south route in the hill country. The deep canyons cutting both to the east and west of the watershed restrict travel to the top of the ridge. On Map 1.6, note the string of biblical cities along this route. Here's Hebron, where the patriarchs were buried, and where David was first crowned king of Judah. North is Bethlehem, where David and Jesus were born. Then Jerusalem, and Gibeah, Saul's capital. Ramah, the home of the prophet Samuel, and Mitzpah, fortified by King Asa. Bethel, where Jacob saw angels and where Jeroboam placed a golden calf. Shiloh, where the tabernacle was first set up under Joshua, and Shechem, where God first promised Abraham's descendants the land. Back on Map 1.8, the Road of the Patriarchs is labeled on the watershed route between Bethlehem and Jerusalem. The route was used on a number of occasions in the Bible. For instance, as marked on Map 2.2, Abraham journeyed from Beersheba to Mount Moriah, Jerusalem, with the intention of sacrificing Isaac. Map 5.5 shows that both David and later his son Absalom came from Hebron to Jerusalem. There is a strategic pinch, or bottleneck, in the Road of the Patriarchs near the city of Jerusalem. The Bible calls the spot Ketif, or the shoulder of Hinnom. It is a hill marked by a small triangle just below the word Jerusalem on Map 1.9. Here, drainage of the Rephaim Valley on the west and the Hinnom and Kidron valleys on the east pinch very close to the watershed. Let's see the Ketif Hinnom bottleneck on this Google Earth photo. The oldest part of Jerusalem, including the City of David and the Temple Mount, are shown here by the yellow shading. Jerusalem is separated from the watershed route by the Hinnom Valley. The Rephaim Valley descends from the watershed to the west, creating the narrow Ketif Hinnom bottleneck. The Road of the Patriarchs passes through this narrow pinch. Marked on Map 4.9, as recorded in the book of Judges, chapter 19, a Levite was returning from Bethlehem to the hill country of Ephraim in the north. When he arrived opposite Jebus, probably at Ketif Hinnom, The man's servant suggested turning aside and staying the night in Canaanite Jebus. But the Levite said, "No, let's go on to one of the cities of Israel, either Gibeah or Ramah." Israelite tombs at Ketephenom were the location of an important archaeological discovery.
We're just on the outskirts of Jerusalem, on the shoulder of Hinnom, and we're at a tomb that dates to the First Temple period, 600 BC, right around there. We have benches right here. These guys are showing us what it was like. There's even carvings for the heads where they would lay the people, they'd lay the deceased. This would have been all enclosed. The deceased would lay here for about a year, at which time then the people would come back in and the flesh had decomposed. They take all the bones, they put the bones down below here in a repository. In this actual repository was found the oldest recorded piece of scripture. It was the priestly benediction from Numbers chapter 6. It was found on a small piece of silver in this repository.
On map 114, let's examine one more route leading to Jerusalem. A route approaching Jerusalem from the southeast is called the Tekoa En-Gedi Ridge Route. Because of the cliffs near the Dead Sea and the rough terrain of the Judean desert, this is the only route that leads into the hill country from the Dead Sea region. The route begins at En-Gedi and climbs the steep Ascent of Ziz, the ridge between the Nahal Arugot and Nahal David. The route ascends through the wilderness to Tekoa, hometown of the prophet Amos. Then it runs past Herodion, a fortress built by Herod the Great, and joins the road of the patriarchs at Bethlehem, then north to Jerusalem. Here is a photograph of the En-Gedi region from the Pictorial Library of Bible Lands. Note the two deep canyons, the Nahal Arugot and Nahal David, that define the steep ridge between them. This is where the Ascent of Ziz climbs up from the Dead Sea. The route then stays on the ridge up to Tekoa.
No, this one's just going in. 1, 2. I just. Yeah, girls!
We just climbed the Ascent of Ziz from En-Gedi.
Map 6-4 marks out a biblical event that occurred along this route. A coalition of nations from the east, Moabites, Ammonites, and Edomites, made a sneak attack on Judah and arrived at En-Gedi. The enemy began to come up the Ascent of Ziz. King Jehoshaphat of Judah called upon the Lord. The Lord told Jehoshaphat that Judah would not even have to fight in this battle. Instead of the army, Jehoshaphat sent singers in the front line. They went out past Tekoa, praising the Lord. The enemy had turned against each other. All Judah had to do was go out and pick up the spoil. Upon returning, the people of Judah named a valley Baracha, meaning blessing. The valley of Baracha is probably just west of Tekoa. Back on map 1-8, take another look at where this route comes to Tekoa.
Behind me is the town Tekoa, the hometown of the prophet Amos. Now God had told Amos to leave his native land of Judah and go up north to Israel, specifically Bethel, and preach against the king there because of the sin in the land.
And about 75 years before Amos, King Jehoshaphat of Judah sent out singers in front of the army to confront the force that came in from the east. This might be the valley of, what's it called? Baracha, the valley of blessing where they got the spoils.
The wide green valley just west of Tekoa may be the valley of Baracha. The route then travels near the Herodium.
We're here at the Herodium built by Herod the Great, just southeast of Bethlehem. Herod, when he heard that the king of the Jews was born in Bethlehem, ordered all the children under the age of 2 killed.
Here is an aerial photograph of the Herodium fortress from the Pictorial Library. The Jewish historian Josephus recorded that Herod the Great was buried with great pomp here. In 2007, archaeologists announced the discovery of the remnants of Herod's tomb. Our route arrives near the road of the patriarchs at Bethlehem.
We're in Nativity Square in Bethlehem, and behind me is the Nativity Church, which is the traditional place where Jesus was born. We're still in Bethlehem, and you can see behind me a modern marketplace, and we're in the probable site of the Old Testament Bethlehem, which is where King David was from.
This video was written by Professor William Schlegel, translated by Dr. Simon Liu, Miss Annie Chang, and edited by Dr. Joseph Kim. Please visit www.logos101.org for more information. Again, that's www.logos101.org. And this is Joseph Kim. Thank you.